So the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners approved a non-structured allocation of $500,000 to Planned Parenthood of Michigan on July 1st, giving Planned Parenthood $500,000 for operations just a few months ahead of the pivotal midterm elections. What does this really mean? Well, to talk with us about that and so much more is our next guest, Dr. Monica Miller, Director of Citizens for a Pro-Life Society. Dr. Monica Miller, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, because this is super, super important.
And super upsetting. So tell us what's going on here.
Well, Vanessa, when it rains, it pours. So yeah, we got wind, and I have to give a lot of credit to Michigan Right to Life for being on top of this. So earlier this month, the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners, in a unanimous vote, allocated $500,000 to Planned Parenthood, and now they are gearing up to vote on a millage that would support "quote-unquote" health care in Washtenaw County, and with 25% of the total going to organizations that provide "quote-unquote" sexual and reproductive care, and that would be just code for Planned Parenthood. So the increased property taxes from this millage is going to generate approximately $5.1 million annually for the next 3 years. Now, of that $5.1 million annually for the next 3 years, $1.3 million taxpayer dollars is going to go to Planned Parenthood. That's almost $4 million.
Wow.
And so we are, of course, geared up to protest this, to oppose it. We're urging people to attend, and we want to pack the meeting room on August 5th at 7:00. That would be next Wednesday, and send the message. First of all, it's just let me clarify here, because it's kind of important.
Okay.
If we make this protest only about Planned Parenthood, we're going to lose, because they don't care about that. Mm-hmm. These are dyed-in-the-wool Democrats. They support Planned Parenthood. However, some little good news there. There are 9 commissioners in Milwaukee County, and the last vote on the first reading of this proposal, there was a 5-4 vote. That means 4 of these Democrats voted against putting this millage on the November ballot. We only need one more to flip to change his or her vote. And we have to make this about not just about Planned Parenthood, but we have to make it about how unfair it is to stick Washtenaw County property taxpayers with higher taxes when the cost of living is already so high and burdensome. And that's something that is the message we need to hammer home, that this is unfair. Mm-hmm. We've got gas prices all over the place over $4 a gallon. The cost of groceries has gone up. The cost of utilities has gone up. And this is the message we need to send, because that's the thing that's resonating with those 4 commissioners who voted against this millage. Now, certainly, I think we can talk about Planned Parenthood, but the way that we need to talk about Planned Parenthood is this is an organization that doesn't need to be funded. It doesn't deserve to be funded.
Yeah.
First of all, they're now, because of the date, the deadline passed on July 4th with the federal ban on funding Planned Parenthood. Well, now millions of dollars are being reflooded back into that organization at the federal level. Planned Parenthood is pledged to spend $47 million to affect the outcome in the November election. $50,000 in Michigan from Planned Parenthood was given to Jocelyn Benson. So,
Jeez.
Come on.
Of course, yes. So our taxpayer dollars ultimately pay for political campaigns that support.
Exactly.
It's a cyclical. So our taxpayer dollars pay for political campaigns to keep their money flow going. because they support Planned Parenthood. Yeah, it's incredible.
And even so, let's say that the millage is going to go through, but Planned Parenthood should not be benefiting from this millage. It doesn't deserve to be benefited. Of course, the first reason for us is because they kill people, innocent unborn children. And by the way, 98% of abortions that are going through Planned Parenthood is elective surgery or elective chemical abortions. Perfectly healthy women, perfectly healthy babies. Why should the taxpayer be funding elective medical
surgery,
quote unquote? Yes, exactly.
Elected surgery.
So there's another point. And let's talk about reproductive health care. Planned Parenthood does no prenatal care. It does no labor and delivery. And I even bet that if you were to make an appointment for just a breast exam and a pap smear, they would probably refer you out of their office to another medical facility or another doctor. I mean, I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but that needs to be tested to see what's going on there. So in any case, those are all the talking points. If anybody, I sent a letter to every single commissioner, all 9 of them, and of course, including my own, from whom I live in Washtenaw County. Okay. So I'm doing, Edmund, my husband, and I are going to be personally affected, if this millage goes through.
So is it going to be decided at the commission level? It doesn't go for public vote?
No. The millage is decided. Whether this millage is going to get on the November ballot is a vote of the commissioners.
Oh, so if it gets, so this is to vote, the commissioners to vote if it gets on the ballot.
Right. So then, of course, the voter, will vote yes or no.
Okay.
And if it goes that far, then we're going to have to campaign for people to say no.
So we're right now, we're trying to stop it from getting on the ballot.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So I hope people will show up at 220 North Main Street next Wednesday, 7:00. We're going to be standing outside with signs that say no more taxes or no tax increase. So if people want to gather at 6:00 and just stand outside of 220 North Main Street next Wednesday, August 5th, with those signs, I'll be there and a bunch of other people will be there. And then we're going to go into the meeting. I do intend to address the commissioners. So that's next. So when I say it rains, it pours. So then we just heard that Oakland County, all right, is going to be giving, this is not a millage, this is a straight disbursement of taxpayer money in Oakland County that the commissioners intend to, again, give Planned Parenthood $1.5 million.
Yeah.
They did this 2 or 3 years ago, and we flooded, we packed the commissioners' meeting room. We had a wonderful protest outside of that facility where they meet when this happened. But they voted, and Planned Parenthood at that time they got the $500,000. Well, now it's going to be $1.5 million. And their next commissioners meeting is also August 5th. So anybody, we're going to be splitting ourselves between the two counties. But certainly people who are going to be affected by this, who live in Oakland County, need to be at that August 5th meeting in Oakland County.
Wow. So is the big ask today, Monica, is to attend these meetings?
Yes, to attend these meetings and to write to the commissioners. And the thing about the Oakland County, this is not a millage. Okay, so this is about Planned Parenthood straight up, because this is not a millage. They intend to give Planned Parenthood $1.5 million of Oakland County taxpayer money. The board meeting is at 1200 North Telegraph Road in Pontiac, and you can just go to the Oakland County commissioner's website. You can get all of the emails. I emailed every single one of those commissioners. There's 19 of them, and I emailed a letter to every single one of them regarding why this Planned Parenthood should not be getting $1.5 million of Oakland. And I don't live in Oakland County, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to live in Oakland County to write to these commissioners. But I do think it's important for people to be at both meetings, August 5th in Oakland County and August 5th in Washtenaw County. And now, Vanessa, if somebody wants to get, I just sent out an email blast to my Michigan Citizens for a Pro-Life Society Michigan list. If anyone listening to this interview right now wants to get that email with all of the facts, all of the talking points, all of the links, then I'm going to give out my phone number right now. Then that people can just text me their email address, and I will send out that email to them. So my phone number is 248-444-9096. I'll say it one more time. 248-444-9096. And just say, all you got to do is put in the text your name and your email address, and that you want to receive that email that we sent out.
And we'll put that up on the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net as well.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I Monica, think I sent that to you.
Yeah, and we do have it. Monica, let me ask you this. How effective is it for people to show up? For people listening saying, well, I'm not going to make a difference. What difference am I going to make? What would you say to them?
I say anytime that you speak up for what is right, it's not a waste of your time. We cannot just allow these commissioners to roll right over us. They have to hear from us regardless of the outcome. And I think it would be a total dereliction if we didn't voice our opposition to this. So we need to do it.
And so when they show up, are they showing up just in physical presence? Are people going to be asked to speak, or how does that work?
Oh yeah, you can sign up when you go there. There'll be a sign-up sheet for people to speak. You probably have 2 to 3 minutes each. Okay. So make your comments need to be prepared. You need to prepare what you're going to say.
Okay, and then what do you recommend? People are going to say that if there's some shared talking points, what message would you like to hear them say, or how can you help them with that?
Well, again, I think 2 things. And if people, if you're going to post this at Ave Maria, there's a bunch of talking points that. Number one, no more higher taxes. We're already burdened with the cost of living, and this is unfair to burden us again with a tax increase. And then to make a case that Planned Parenthood doesn't deserve to be funded. Mm-hmm. And the talking points are there. I mean, like I said, just a few minutes ago, why are we funding an organization that's spending $47 million to affect the outcome, of an
election?
They're targeting. Yeah. I mean, so it doesn't make any sense. This obsession with Planned Parenthood is it's mind-boggling, really. And
the thing is, they could put money. This is the thing too, Monica. They get so much money from our taxpayer dollars to promote their agenda. That's why they're out front and center all the time, because they have the marketing dollars to do it from our taxpayer dollars.
Well, right, exactly. So they can shift money from one focus to the other if we're giving them taxpayer money. And anyway, it's as if to say there's no other quote unquote reproductive health care entity in Washtenaw County that shouldn't be supported. If this is going to go through, why does it have to be Planned Parenthood? Mm-hmm. Why can't it be MAS Women's Health or the Sienna Pregnancy Health Center in Ypsi? Yeah. So this is a bias. This is a total pro-abortion, Democrat-driven bias that supports this group, Planned Parenthood. And there's a link. So if you're going to post what I sent to you at Ave Maria, there's a link to the Lozier analysis of Planned Parenthood's latest annual report. It is staggering to see. They did over 400,000 abortions in the year 2024. That means that over 1/3 of all the killing of unborn children in America is coming out of a Planned Parenthood facility. All of their other so-called services have been reduced. But except for one, and that's abortion. It's a very, very eye-opening report, and that link is in that memo that I sent to you.
Yeah, we'll put it all in the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net, including your cell phone number. About a minute left with you. You want to give out that information about how they can attend these commission meetings?
Right. So the one in Washtenaw County is at 7 p.m. at 220 North Main Street in Ann Arbor, and it's August 5th, so that's next Wednesday. But we're going to have a little picket outside. If people want to hold a sign that says "No more taxes" or "No tax increase," that would be great. At 6 o'clock, right outside of 220 North Main Street, and then in Oakland County, same date, August 5th, at 7 o'clock. They are going to be having their commissioners meeting. And the address for that, if I can find it really quickly, 1200 North Telegraph Road in Pontiac. And again, I think it's important to call these commissioners and or write to them.
Okay. Monica, thank you so much. God bless you. We ran out of time. Thank you for all this information. We're going to put it up in the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net. Stay with us, everyone. We're wrapping up on a Thursday. Unlikely chosen, how God has chosen the most unlikely people to do his greatest work throughout history. God has chosen the most unlikely people to accomplish extraordinary things. In this inspiring talk, Jack Rasula will share powerful stories and timeless truths that reveal how God works through our weaknesses, our past, and our yes to bring his plans to life. That's Tuesday, August 4th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Our Lady of Good Counsel Parish, and all are welcome. I want to thank our guests for joining us here today, Dr. Monica Miller, Director of Citizens for a Pro-Life Society. We'll put up all that information. She talked about those council meetings in both Washtenaw and Oakland County coming up next week on Wednesday. We'll put all the information, including her cell phone number, in the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net. And thank you to all of our guests who sat down with me at Huntington Place in Detroit last week for Rising from the Ashes Eucharistic Revival, including John Biskner, President and CEO of Catholic Foundation of Michigan, Jen Anderson, Director of Child Welfare, and Maria Carnego, Child Welfare Licensing Supervisor for the Catholic Charities of Michigan, and of course, Chuck Gatica, who served as the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you all for being with me at Huntington Place for Rising from the Ashes and sitting down and having a conversation with me about being at that wonderful revival. Today's a feast day of Blessed Solanus Casey. Mass at 6 p.m. tonight at the Solanus Casey Center, celebrated by Archbishop Edward Weisenberger. Tomorrow, Roxanne Sullivan will join me on Epiphany to tell us about a new St. Monica Novena being launched by Ascension, featuring her and Patty Armstrong. And we'll also air the last of my Rising from the Ashes interviews featuring Father Adam Nowak, Father Matthew Hood, and Father Pierre Kundra. That's all coming up tomorrow here on Epiphany. Again, it is a feast day of Blessed Solanus Casey. Mass tonight, 6 p.m. We all know him, right from Detroit, Blessed Solanus Casey, who served as a porter at St. Bonaventure Monastery in Detroit for so many years. He is on the path to sainthood. He's a blessed. And there's a Mass today for his feast day. We'll also put the information up about his novena as well that I talked about earlier in the intro at Epiphany. You go to Epiphany Archive at AveMariaRadio.net. And as Father Solanus Casey always said, thank God ahead of time. Thank God ahead of time for all your blessings, for things that you're asking him for. Thank God ahead of time. Don't forget to connect, communicate, and collaborate with your Catholic community. We are your local Catholic radio station. Don't go away. Coming up next, Dr. Ray.